Hello, I'm Jake Tapper in Washington, where the state of our union is watching the evidence pile up. We begin this morning with some breaking news. The lawyer for the first whistleblower now tells me he is also representing a second whistleblower who has spoken to the Intelligence Community Inspector General. The news, first reported by ABC, is another development that could play into the impeachment inquiry into President Trump. And it's just the latest in a stream of new evidence this week, backing up the original whistleblower complaint against President Trump, including notably the president's own public call for not only Ukraine, but for China to investigate his potential 2020 rival. But perhaps most damning, House Democrats have obtained text messages between three senior U.S. officials discussing what looks like a quid pro quo, an office of X in exchange for Y with Ukraine, including this exchange. Quote, heard from White House, assuming President Zelensky convinces Trump he will investigate, quote, get to the bottom of what happened in 2016, we will nail down date for visit to Washington. Or this text from a senior U.S. diplomat in Ukraine. Quote, as I said on the phone, I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign. We should note, we invited the White House on to answer questions on the show this morning. They did not offer a guest. We also invited both of the president's personal lawyers, Rudy Giuliani and Jay Sekulow. They declined to appear. We invited every member of Senate leadership and the top House Republicans. They all declined or did not even respond. The Trump White House no longer holds regular press briefings or any press briefings at all. And so on one of the most critical news weeks of the last 3 years, here are just three of many questions that we feel need to be answered. One, why did senior U.S. diplomats believe that U.S. military aid was being withheld as a tool to pressure Ukraine to announce an investigation into the Bidens and into attempts to undermine the Mueller investigation? Two, can this White House name another instance, just one, in which President Trump personally pushed a foreign leader to investigate an American citizen who was not one of his political opponents? Three, would you think it entirely appropriate for a Democratic president to use the power of his or her office to demand foreign governments conduct investigations into Republicans and their families? As always, the invitation for an official to answer these questions stands.